What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another deck profile here on the channel. Today, we're talking about the Joker list that I took to the Patriot Games Webcam Weekly. First and foremost, huge shout-outs to Helix Furno over on my Discord, who played essentially this deck in a community game night against me, and man, this deck was very, very potent. It was very, very powerful, and so I was like, you know what? I think I want to play it for one of these webcam events, really showcase it off. So again, huge shout-out to Helix Furno for the initial idea. I took his deck without looking at his list proper and made like what I would make out of it. So it's not exactly what he got going on, but it's close. So let's talk about it. So this is effectively a mill deck. I know, Tam, you're saying I know you don't like mill decks, and the answer is I don't. But I think this one is not necessarily like, hey, move through your deck and make you cycle a bunch of times to mill you out. This one I think is very potent. It's very fast, and it is possible to fight back and you know, kill the Joker before he drives you mad with the mill. And so let's talk about it. His character ability says check a 6. In order for if you successfully check a 6 on your attacks, you make a player lose a health, draw a card, and discard a random card. We never care about that. All we care about is making us make a 6, because his other ability, and the thing that we actually care about, is response after you fail a check. During your after you fail a check, you will have your rival remove the top card of their list. And so every time that I play an attack card, I'm going to make a check of a 6. Oh no, I failed it, as I only had one 6 check in my deck, and then you're going to remove the top card of your deck. And so randomly, the goal here is to hit attack cards. I want to empty your deck out of attack cards so you no longer have a win condition, so that eventually whenever I play out attacks, I will eventually kill you. So let's talk about the attack lineup. And one of the primo ways to do this is by playing Sweeping Daggers. This card is a I play my attack, I selectively remove the best piece out of your discard pile, and then this becomes essentially a copy. It gains all the abilities of that move. So I remove the best piece, which is helping my mill game plan. I remove one here, I move one here. Feels very good. Just feels like a great piece. 9 times out of 10, we're not actually even using the Sweeping Daggers Blitz to remove the other Sweeping Daggers to burn them one, because that's not our game plan. Our game plan is to remove cards. The next card that we have to talk about is Violent Animus Shot. If this card removes cards from the discard pile, this card randomly removes cards from your rival's hand. If it connects, you get to remove a card out of their hand. And then the other thing that it does is it accidentally gets rid of backups and lets you redraw. Drawing cards is really, really, really important in this deck, because it's basically the only way you have to really defend yourself. Our moves are not very potent. They don't hit very hard, but they do have a very specific job, and that is I'm trying to tax your hand and trying to tax your deck. And so the fact that this card, yes, if I flash it, I don't get to remove one with Joker, but the fact that I get to redraw a card could matter in the long term of I need to redraw things back up into my hand. And then the next big targeted piece of removal is just Try Gravity Beam. This card says if I have 3 attacks in my card pool, normally I want to do something like this. I get to destroy a foundation to selectively remove. Look at my rival's hand and selectively remove one. Easily could include more. I probably would toss the other 2 in the sideboard if I felt like I actually needed to kill somebody. But this card is there just to stop sculpting. I mean, that's what both these cards are for. Up next, the second main reason I think this deck is relevant inside of or playable rather, is Merciless Lead. This card says that during this deck, I'm going to remove 3 cards from the top of your deck, 2 from Merciless, and then 1 from Joker. There's so many times where on average, you're supposed to hit an attack. There's so many times where I've removed 2 and sometimes 3 attacks off of both, and then Joker. And the amount of removal this card has is so good. It also, I mean, it hits kind of hard, and we do want to have some amount of momentum in here. And so this is one of the cards that, like, oh, I'll play Merciless Lead. You use a card in your hand so that you don't block, so that you don't take all the damage, and then it is one less option for you to attempt to block the Animus with. Feels very, very good. Up next, The reason that the void symbol is so potent in this character is just Dimensional Sphere. This card trades 1 card for 1 card. After I block with Dimensional Sphere, I will respond and remove your attack from the game. And so because I have 4 Dimensional Spheres and I don't want to keep my health total nice and high, I say you have 4 less cards, 4 less attacks in your deck if I can successfully make a block happen. And then the last attack of the deck, the weakest attack of the deck, bar none, is just 3 Stabbing Dagger. This card just says, if I'm a thief, blitz my rival mills until they hit an attack card, which is just going to help them cycle a little bit quicker. And there is a way for us to become a thief in here, which we'll get to in a bit. But this card's entire job is to land a 3 damage move that I don't necessarily care about to snag myself a momentum. And then if I have the thief trait, I will mill you until you find an attack card, just to, again, make that cycle a little clever. So from here, this is the attack lineup. Again, there's no power cards, there's no dunks, there's nothing like that. It is all basically just I'm trying to fatigue your attack lineup as much as I can. So out of the actions, I've got 1 Genkai's Guidance. I probably would play 2. I only own 1. But this card says sack 3 foundations, remove a rival attack from the game, and it doesn't remove itself. So if you ever cycle, you see the second one, you can just remove them over and over again. There's also a world where, honestly, you could probably just play 4 of this. 4 Genkais, 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, and just like sitting here playing like a really tight defensive game plan. The issue with this card is it does tax your stage pretty severely, and so it is a rough spot to be in. Next action is double hold hostage. This is probably what I would trade 1 hold hostage for another Genkai's Guidance. I have these, I don't have these. During my rival's turn, after I play a5, look at my rival's hand and selectively remove 1 of them from the game. This just says that if their attack deals damage, they're allowed to destroy a foundation to add it back. So this is just another copy of essentially Dimensional Sphere, as long as you can stave off, or Genkai's Guidance, as long as you can stave off damage from that turn, or they don't have the resources to destroy and then rebuy it back. This card is very, very cool. It's also got a 0 low block for some reason. This card is very neat, almost exclusively in this deck. Up next action is Triple Barrier Shield. This is just, again, a good defensive piece. Pairs really, really well with the Dimensional Sphere. I'll Barrier Shield, make your thing 0 speed, Barrier Shield, Breaker, and then remove the card. Just great all-around card, just to make sure that your defense is solid. Those actions, here's on assets. Here's 1 Cape of No Return. I would play an additional one if I had it. I just don't. This card is just Genkai's, but on an asset. So to replace it, I decided to play Golden Death. This card let me be a little bit more aggressive, naming attack card and being able to pick up copies of these power cards. Felt very good. Form, remove it, go grab these, and these sometimes are as good as the cape. Not necessarily for surviving, but for my game plan of removing your cards. And then randomly, the remove a card out of my rival's hand could be useful, but it's not necessarily what it was there for. It was there to try and speed my deck along a little bit. Up next, I've got 1 VME. This was filmed and recorded the day that the new ban list came out. So at this point, this card has been banned, but I would probably, if you have it, I would just play, honestly, a 3rd copy of Cape if you can go find them. Otherwise, I mean, this card feels very good to spend your momentum on. Up next, I've got a Cabal's Ruin. -1 speed on all of my rivals' moves as long as I'm a thief. Again, I have a way to become a thief. And then if I don't take damage from a move, potentially mill them for 10 can be useful. But this is the main way that if I have to kill you, if I've defended myself, I can pump something to make it a little big. Because once my rival realizes that my game plan is not to necessarily kill them, they kind of put down their defenses attack-wise, and if I can steal a game from Cabals, I certainly will. Milling is plan A. If plan B is killing them, I need to be able to understand that I can and should switch to plan B using Cabals. And then last asset is just 1 Doothvar. Selectively sealing my rival's foundations is really important, especially whenever they're trying to interact with the moves that I have. Sealing things that seal my own attacks. I play out a bait attack and then Doothvar and then pop off and do the thing that I need to do. There's the assets. And then lastly, our backup is just 3 spiraling fetch. This guy says that I become a thief, which is really important for the cards that we talked about previously, as well as it says enhance commit this attack, mine or yours, gets +2 speed. Don't care about that. My rival removes the top card of the deck. So it's just another copy of Joker. And so sometimes during Merciless Lead, I'm actually removing 4 cards off the top of their deck. Feels very, very solid. I know it's a unique, but we really want to see it because of those thief interactions. So it's a 3F. On the foundations, normally I split up my foundations in jobs, aggro, defense, flow, disruption, but we don't have aggro cards necessarily, but we have game plan cards, the things that are trying to mill them. And the number one reason I actually see this deck works is joining the fight. Enhance once per turn. If your attack deals damage, selectively remove 1 card from your rival's discard pile. For every copy of this that you have, it says that these attacks that they don't necessarily want to block and interact with, they now have to. They now have to interact with these pieces. Imagine having a Sweeping Daggers selectively removing the best card from their deck, and then activating double joining the fight to remove 2 more. I removed another one from the Joker. I removed another one from Spiraling Fetch. Sometimes in a singular activation, you're removing 3-4 attacks, a fifth of their attack lineup out of their discard pile or deck. It can be really, really backbreaking depending on how the cards fall. Up next, in the same idea, we've got 1 Monster Zero. This one is from hand. It's very similar to the idea of the, whatever the name of this one was, Golden Death, of they remove a card out of their hand. This is here, honestly, to stop them from sculpting. If I watch them not block with something, I will play 1 more move, Monster Zero, and probably remove an attack out of their hand, because they need attack cards to kill me, and they know that they're not allowed to block with the attack cards, or else I'm gonna cherry pick them out of the discard pile with my other card effects. And so this card is just to stop my rival from sculpting against me and still catching that bonus. And then double Sins of the Past. Response after play this: selectively remove a card out of the discard pile. A foundation version of spot removal. The fact that it also says destroy by spending a momentum and then redraw 2 cards just helps you a little bit on defense. Next, we've got Nonagon, kind of in the game plan. It doesn't remove an attack for anything, but it does say that one of their attacks doesn't really have any abilities by sealing it. It says that one of their attacks just isn't high impact, and so I can take and seal remove and then not have to deal with that one and then remove it later. Same idea as the Nonagon. I've got double decoy duplicate, spin momentum, clear an attack out of their card pool. If it's something that I don't want to interact with or deal with, I can then take and remove it with a dagger afterwards. So those are the aggro game plan cards. Up next, we've got Flow. I've got 4 Treasure Hunting. Again, cards in hand is really important because we need to build out a stage. We need to build out a hand to defend ourselves. Up next, we've got 4 Hacker. I think Hacker is one of the best draw pieces we have in the game at the moment. A self-momentum generating, spending momentum redraw card is very good. The bonus upside is the fact that it flips my rival's assets, which can just be really debilitating. Up next, we've got some cycle draw in the form of Horrifying Realization. This card says draw, then discard. It also makes my rival draw and discard, which is technically mill 1, which is kind of neat. And then the same idea here with the 4 Botons coaching. It is we both discard a card and then redraw a card, which is a slight mill, but it's more there to fix my own hand. Defense-wise, I've got triple Eaten by the Bearded Titan. I thought this card was super important because a playable while committed destroy for minus speed, in case I don't have something like the VME, will be more important now. Says that I'm allowed to play things like double Merciless Lead and not feel too bad about committing my cards. I'll play the Merciless, check a 5, commit an Eaten, and it's still readily available to be used. Up next, I've got 4 Incubating. Yes, this card does remove cards out of my discard pile, but it is not that big of a deal because of the efficiency that I'm removing cards from their deck. I'm not going to cycle, and again, I get to pick the cards that I'm removing, and when I pick the cards that you remove, it feels really bad. Disruption, I've got a singular copy of Masha Concealment. After a rival plays an ability, cancel it. This is really good for stopping draw cards. This is really good for stopping a lot of pieces that are just like interact with their board and make their game plan a little more online. This is to stop their flow. That's its job. And then the last card that we have is just saving Bakugo. Honestly, the void symbol is a little hurting on zero diffs, and I thought my board was really important, specifically things like, I have lost it, things like joining the fight. And so I thought if my rival was going to try and flip my joining the fight, I could flip the saving Bakugo and unflip it and draw my card. Didn't come up very much, but in some of my matches, my rivals were intimidated by this card and were forced to not utilize abilities that they wanted to. And so there you have it. There is the Joker, a character that I don't think is highly competitive, but certainly something fun to go take to your locals and clown around a bit. If you like this and you want to see more from the deck, make sure you go and check out the matches that are going to be out and available live on the YouTube channel right now. And let me know if there are any more cool decks you want to see me pilot in the future. I'd love to take some suggestions. With that said, you guys, thank you much for watching the video, and as always, I wish you well.